Hi everyone, we're here at the site of the former Phillipsburg Jubilee Library and now the St. Martin Library for the actual commencement of the demolition works. I'm very happy and thankful to everyone who's had a role to play in this project and getting it this far. It has been 8 long years, but now we actually see some movement. So I'm looking forward to seeing the completion within the required amount of time so that St. Martin can move from a long-time iconic landmark to a new state-of-the-art library that's going to become a new landmark in our education system and our community.
Well, this is indeed one of the pleasures to be able to start this particular activity. This is the demolition works for the St. Martin Library. After the demolition of the library, then we'll start with the reconstruction of the new library. But before we can get there, the demolition has to happen first. And now, with the contractor Winwood Roads, the work has now been initiated and will start. They have taken possession of the site, as you can see, and with the support of the Prime Minister and the Minister of Education, Youth and Sport, this kickoff of the demolition of this building will now start. I want to congratulate all of the teams who have been working very diligently on this project to bring it to this point, and I look forward to the completion of the demolition in a very responsible and responsible and clean way to complete this task. And after that is done, then we look forward to the site being prepared for the reconstruction of the St. Martin Library.
Today, my people, is a very important day, a historical day for our country. Today we're going to start with the demolishing of our library, and I think it's very important. The status that we are in with the library is actually since the aftermath of Hurricane Irma, and ultimately we are now in the phase of starting the demolishing of this library. It's very close to my heart. As you know, I'm your Prime Minister and very sensitive for nation building. I do believe that we can speak about nation building if we have a national library to share with the people of our country. And I think the moment has come that now we can start working on our national library for our country that will give an enormous push to the development of the people of our country. For me, it's a great day today that after demolishing, we will start with the building of a new national library for St. Martin. And for me, this means that we started with the nation building of St. Martin.
We see 4 persons in front of us, but represents over 200. Over 200 was stated that they represent. And then when you hear that other parts of the justice factions, of the justice ministry are planning go-slows, where are we going? What is indeed the plan of approach? I see in the newspaper, it says, Minister of Justice signs to change justice reform or the way that justice is moving forward. To my questions to the unions, are you aware of this agreement that is signed? Because Parliament is not aware of any agreement that is signed, but I see in the paper, and this is where we learn later down, years and years and years from now, as my colleague stated to me off camera, when you say, but how this happened? Oh, remember this date in 2025 that was signed? And I ask this question because, as a minister, you are to refer to your stakeholders. And the union represents the stakeholders. And I'm not making this up. The union stated today that the relationship between the justice workers and the ministers is strained. Strained. So again, Madam Chair, through you, as chair of the Justice Committee, I ask for urgency in us having the minister present so we can hear according to my colleagues, her side. But you can change your words, but you can't change black and white. And that is the reason I specifically asked for this email thread. And members have been trying to push the narrative or ask the question on what was the result of the 3-month request? What was the result of the quarterly request? And I heard you say it loud and clear. Nothing. When I was minister, I met with SZV every month. Met with my various stakeholders. It's no way once a month with the unions of justice is too ambitious for the Minister of Justice. So I too look forward to this meeting being called. But let me say something real quick. Any member that has to question why a union comes to Parliament needs to reconsider their position. I am proud that unions are finding their way to Parliament. Because you know why, Madam Chair? For the first time in a long time, the unions are trusting the members of Parliament. Keep coming. To the public, keep coming. And if they don't want to accept you, I'll accept you. The United People's Party will accept you with open arms. So regardless of what we can do and what we can't do, just by you showing up here shows, for the first time in a long time, you have confidence in Parliament as a body. And you believe that we as members of Parliament can do. And trust me, some can do more than others at this moment. Because when they have coalition meetings, I am not invited. That's a fact, not fiction. You keep showing up. And there was a point here where only when the unions took it to the media, you received a response. And as I stated with the Prime Minister and the Minister of VSA, I can more than guarantee something will happen now. It's public. Something will happen now.
That being the case, again, I might find answers to my questions in that policy because I just wanted to make sure that I have things in the right perspective. There was a Nagico life insurance that expired and has not been renewed. So that's the Nagico life insurance. That life insurance included a payout by accidental death, and another payout was also mentioned. All part of the Nagico insurance, which is not in effect right now. I place a question mark by that, which is not in effect right now. Then you have the issue of the Smarter Health, which is in effect, which includes a payout on the different conditions, probably death as well, of 200,000 guilders, but the unions are unaware of the details of that particular policy on Smarter Health. I'm just making sure that I understand what the situation is right now with insurance for the justice workers. Again, what exactly the Nagico insurance entails and includes would probably be evident when I peruse the document that we have received today. But it also includes a payout that could, question, be compared to the Smarter Health. Yet, we don't have an insurance such as the Nagico life insurance in place right now, but the Smarter Health is in place in case, God forbid, something happens to someone and that person loses his or her life. I just want to understand that that's where we are at right now, where the insurance is concerned. Because if that is the case, then it behooves us in this committee to get that information. How can we be talking about whether it be the insurance, which by the way, I'm understanding we got a policy, so that's good, but talking about something like Smarter Health, but those who are covered by this smart health policy, law, whatever it is, are not sure what exactly it all entails. So I just need to get yes, no, maybe so MP, you understood it right or you understood it wrong, so that then we would know what to follow up on in order to receive the information. So if I could just get that picture even clearer, then I would know where to take it from here and what I would be looking for from the government as far as the insurance of the justice workers is concerned. So I would leave it there, Madam Chair Lady. Thank you.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, Com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
Now, the evacuation plan in the region through the CDMA coordinating unit would have developed a mass evacuation policy several years ago. And I'm happy that the IOM is now going to piggyback on this initiative, that we can actually implement the mass evacuation policy across countries. And of course, St. Vincent and Grenadines is one such country who will be willing to support and have this big exercise in our territory, in our region. So I want to thank you for using that whole mass evacuation policy. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We have something already in the region, and that will work with CDMA and ensuring that our islands and our participating states can actually partner and use this policy that was developed. We know that a lot of countries are working on the whole national disaster plans and policy. In St. Vincent and Grenadines, we approved the Comprehensive Disaster Management Policy 2025 in January this year, and migration was one of those issues that was not previously included in the previous strategy, and we are happy now to partner with you and develop our plans and policies as we roll out our country work program, which is one of the pillars of the CDM pillars in terms of ensuring that our countries are advocating and managing our risk and have a comprehensive approach to disaster management in the region. So this project ties in nicely with the regional and national initiatives that we have been working on in country. The Early Warning for All initiative was launched about 2 years ago in Barbados. We have identified our gaps. We have worked with several partners, UNDP included, CDMA, in looking at identifying our gaps across the region and in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And we know the whole information management and knowledge management across the region and in country is key. So we are happy and welcome the project in terms of supporting the gaps we are seeing in the early warning system, not only in St. Vincent and Grenadines, but the region, the communication to the vulnerable population. How do we communicate across cultures and across the region? And in every community is different. I remember last year after Hurricane Beryl, UNICEF would have done a or did a video for the children in Union Island. And we were in Union Island the first week of June 2024 with school visits and visits, what we call whistle stops across the country. And one of the telling things that came from the children when UNICEF did that interview, they remembered that the people from Nemo told them to cover their brain, in the children's word, cover their brain to protect their head from any damage. And the children spoke about that as one of the experiences and how they were able to face going through Hurricane Beryl. So we see that our public education is working. We need to do more, and we welcome the initiative that we can look at the gaps in our warning system. And these studies would have been done before in terms of our gap analysis, and we build on those gaps that we are seeing. So I want to thank the IOM and CDM and all the partners for working with us as we look at enhancing our capacity across the data gathering and data collection. And this is one of our huge gaps across the region and in country, where we have to be able to capture data accurately for the first time and represent the population, and we have a good representation of the population that is affected, that we can share across all sectors. So as collectively, we can look at meeting the needs and the gaps of the persons who have been impacted. So all in all, I want to welcome the project, and I'm looking forward to working with you, Viola, and your team, and IOM, and of course, CDEMA. So thank you very much for this initiative, and we welcome this support in the region.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
I will address the questions relating to business and human rights. Thank you very much, distinguished committee member, for those questions. Starting with the advances to implement or incorporate CSDD international law. The Omnibus 1 proposal of the European Commission, of course, includes amendments to the CSDD, as well as an extension of the implementation period of 1 year. Following this proposal, the EU agreed on the Stop the Clock directive, which extends the implementation deadline to July 2027. The Council of the EU agreed on a negotiating mandate for the omnibus simplification of the CSDD, which also extends the implementation period. And as such, the European Parliament is expected to reach a position on this as well. So the precise contents and implementation timeline of the CSDD is not yet clear. However, the Netherlands will continue its preparatory work on the national law on responsible business conduct, de Wet Internationaal Verantwoord Ondernemen, regarding parts that are not affected by the proposed amendments in the omnibus. And once an agreement on the amendments has been reached within the EU, the Kingdom of the Netherlands will continue the legislative process for transposition of the CSDDD into national law. The proposed supervisory body to monitor and enforce the implementation of this law will be the Authority for Consumers and Markets. With regard to the question what position the Kingdom of the Netherlands has taken with regard to the suggested amendments suggested by the European Commission, in general, the Kingdom of the Netherlands welcomes the efforts to simplify the CSDDD in order to alleviate administrative burdens. However, the Netherlands has sought to clarify certain open norms, for example, the duty to suspend business relationships and the new stakeholder definition, this to enhance legal certainty and to minimize room for differing interpretations among EU member states. The Netherlands has in principle supported the European Commission's proposal to limit due diligence to direct business partners because of the reduced administrative burden, but at the same time, the Netherlands has advocated for a more risk-based approach in line with international standards on responsible business conduct. The Netherlands supports the European Commission's proposed simplification of the climate transition plan obligation. But for the Netherlands, it is important that the obligation to adopt a climate transition plan is maintained. And the Netherlands has not supported the Commission's proposal to remove the harmonized civil liability regime from the original CSDDD. With regards to the question on measures taken with a focus on business activities also extraterritorially, the Netherlands expects all businesses operating in or from the Netherlands to implement the OECD guidelines and the UNGPs. And it expects businesses to identify risks of contributing to human rights violations or adverse impacts due to their activities and in their value chain. Under the CSDDD, companies within its scope will also be obliged to conduct due diligence. The Netherlands will, as said, transpose this directive into national legislation. Other EU legislation with a due diligence component, such as the forced labor regulation, the deforestation regulation, the corporate sustainability reporting directive, and the conflict minerals regulation, have been or will also be implemented. In addition, in terms of improving access to an effective remedy, an example of a concrete measure that the Netherlands has taken is to improve access to judicial mechanisms by monitoring access to Dutch law by foreign rights holders. More specifically, the Netherlands conducts annual monitoring of the so-called settlement of mass damages claims in collective actions law, the WAMCA, Wet Afwikkeling Massaschade in Collectieve Actie, which entered into force in 2020. And this act makes it possible to settle damages collectively in joint proceedings so that groups of victims of human rights abuses caused by businesses operating in or from the Netherlands can use this law, making it unnecessary to litigate individually to claim damages.
The government and opposition are at odds over the appointment of the leadership in the House of Representatives. Ahead of today's swearing-in, the PNP raised objection to the appointment of past speakers, but the JLP is hitting back. The People's National Party is asserting that the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives must at all times embody impartiality, integrity, and fairness in the management of parliamentary proceedings. And it's for this reason the opposition says it will not support the reappointment of neither Mrs. Marisa Dalrymple-Philibert or Mrs. Juliette Holness to the position. In a release, PNP chairperson Dr. Angela Brown-Burke pointed to their handling of some matters arguing there was confusion and inordinate delays in the tabling of critical reports to Parliament from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission under their leadership. But in response, the Jamaica Labour Party accused the opposition of attempting to bully the governing administration into excluding two eminently qualified women from consideration for the post of Speaker of the House of Representatives. General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang said the PNP's statement was baseless and highlighted fake concerns about the possibility of appointment of Juliet Holness and Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. According to Dr. Chang, while it would be irregular for the appointment of the Speaker to not be supported by the opposition party, the JLP will not be dictated to by the opposition party concerning the positioning of two very capable women who were recently re-elected by the people with large majorities in their respective constituencies. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has issued a strong warning to his new cabinet. Complacency will not be tolerated. Shamila Pullen reports.
A new cabinet with familiar faces, but according to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, the mission remains the same. Addressing the ministers, he stressed performance is key.
Let us be clear, this is not a time to grow comfortable. It is a time to recommit to humility, to service, and to performance.
He acknowledged that citizens are not looking for excuses and instead expects the government will deliver results based on its new mandate presented to voters during the election campaign. And so,
to my ministers, let me be direct. This appointment is not a personal prize. It is not a reward for loyalty, nor a platform for status. It is an assignment of national importance, heavy with responsibility and demanding of sacrifice. Let us remain grounded in humility and resist the temptation to see ministries as personal turf. We cannot afford progress to be slowed by lack of collaboration with ministries pulling in different directions.
He went further.
Success will not come from working in silos, but from collaboration and synergy. Our people will not measure us by how well we protect our portfolios, but by how well we work as one cabinet, as one government, as one Jamaica.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.